All right, welcome everyone. Well, this is going to be the first episode of this walks and talks that I was talking so much about in the streams. And as you can see, well, I tried to show you I'm walking uphill, so there's basically quite a distance to go. But I do have some topics that I wanted to talk to you guys about. And you know, this series is going to be a little bit like life and trading related topics, which I want to share with you guys from my own personal experience. And I do think that if I share this information, I might be able to give some value. So I have my bullet points right here. And first of all, let me begin with a very simple task, or should I say bullet point. Mistakes I have made during day trading. Now there's many. So this first episode is not going to be enough to cover all that. But first of all, one of my biggest mistakes was I was chasing trades, or maybe I should say I was chasing a train that has already left the station. I'm sure many of you guys have experienced that. For example, if you have a trade entry, for example a fair value gap, an optimal trade entry or something like that. I mean, you might miss the opportunity if you're trading on the lower time frame, especially on the 1 minute or even on the 5 minute. But just you have to note that if you are already left the optimal entry point, then maybe you shouldn't force it. And the thing I want to say is that if you have at least a 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio, which is still good, then you should enter. That's the point. But for example, there's a high resistance liquidity around somewhere in the top or in the bottom, and you have a fair value gap just before a significant high or before a significant low, or fair value gap. Most likely high resistance liquidity levels occur somewhere near significant highs and lows. When the price was pretty much close and near to those levels, I just wanted to grab any kind of fair value gap and just put the trade on, right? But you know it's not that simple. I'm sorry, I'm just catching my breath, you know. But as you can see, it's a little foggy right now. So many times I found myself entering into a high resistance liquidity run right around these significant levels. So you might have to reconsider your entry. Do you really want to take that trade when that swing, that particular PD array is already in a premium and not discount? You should just consider to cancel that trade or not to enter it. The train has already left the station. Make sure to catch those moves if you can on a discount array. All right, so this error many times occurs when I'm not waiting for higher time frame confirmation. And I know I trade, my main entry model is on the 1 minute and the 30 second too, but I have to understand still that until I don't get my confirmation, at least on the 15-minute time frame, I just shouldn't enter the trade, right? So another thing I wanted to talk about is patience. Huge problem. And I know these topics are not new to you guys, but I still found myself making these errors. Most likely nowadays when New York session opens up, I want to ride that first 10 to 15 minutes. When I see the volume, you know, coming into the market, I always say like, okay, let's catch a quick scalp or something. And I know some other YouTubers do the same, like they just enter a trade with 10 or 15 mini contracts, not even micros. And you know, guys, that is a little bit, well, how should I say, risky, not to say the least. You have to recognize dead sessions too, you know. I wrote this in here because recognize dead sessions and don't sit at the screen if price action is not picking up in the first hour, or should I say in the silver bullet hour. And of course, I realized that in future, especially on nasdaq and ES, the London session is pretty much, well, almost no volume. I mean, many times you just don't have the kind of liquidity that you're looking for. And it's pretty simple to recognize if the market doesn't really want to go anywhere. If by 10 a.m. You don't see any significant breakout, or by 10:30 you don't see anything significant breakout to a certain level or fair value gap, then you should just skip the whole thing. That's what I say. And you should have to learn to be patient and walk away from the computer, because that's also something like, that is the thing that's going to, take all your profits back. And another important is that treat your challenge account with respect if it would be real money account. I know it sounds stupid, but our main priority would be capital protection. And I know it's just a simulated account. Even if they say it's a funded account, it's still simulated. So the number one priority is to treat it as if it were real money. I mean, if you're in a 50k challenge, even if it's just a challenge account and not a funded account, overall all you have is, well, a TopStep. You have $2,000 of equity that you have to be responsible for. So you have to treat that as if you have real $2,000 in the account. I'm not saying that you have to embrace fear or deep emotions, but you shouldn't over leverage. Do not abuse the reset button, and do not buy too many accounts. For example, I know it sounds stupid, but many traders said to me as well that if you, for example, you have one or two challenge accounts, and if you blow all of them, maybe the best idea for you is just to wait until the next monthly reset or the next rebill. This way you can still trade demo accounts, and next time your brain is going to rewire and is going to help you treat that account as with much more respect. And don't set yourself up to too high expectations, because many new traders, most likely, or should I say traders with less experience, think that if they just start a 50k evaluation or challenge account, then with that 50k account you're going to be, well, not a millionaire, but they want to make like $10,000 in their first month. I'm not saying it's impossible. Mathematically it's possible, but reality check. You should face the truth that it's not going to happen. I mean, realistically, for a new trader, even if he or she passes the challenge, you will get around $2,000 or $2,500 of equity, depending on the prop firm, and that's the capital that you have to operate with. And if you have $2,000 or $2,500 capital, then the realistic goal, I think, should be, for example, in your first month, should be, for example, maybe $1,000 profit share. If you're good enough to take it up to plus $2,000, then you're cool, and you can take out for example, $1,000 at TopStep. But maybe you're laughing now or thinking, oh, that's too low, that's nothing, $1,000. Trust me, if you're new, or if you're just starting out, or you have just low experience, trust me, having $1,000 in your first month is excellent. Then you basically beat 90% of traders out there. Really, because it's a thing to get to be funded. It's another thing to get to the payout as well, especially depending on what size of accounts are you using. So what I wrote here is, oh yeah, after a trading day or session, go over your trades. Also very important. What I suggest, I know it sounds weird, if you download OBS Studio or download the software that can record your screen, or maybe even you if you have a camera, and record the whole session while you trade. And if you have time and energy, you can rewind it as well and check how you were behaving. And you know what? You would say that it is really crazy, but just talk to yourself. Even if you're not streaming or, you know, nobody sees you, just talk to yourself. Talk out loud. You know, just talk with loud sentences and walk through yourself on the whole chart, you know, tape reading. That's what ICT says too. So, and replay these videos or just write a journal. And the journal doesn't really have to be like a journal where you journal. I did that. I still do it with the Forex account, but you don't really have to journal every single trades, because that's gonna be real tough, and that's not the point. Because those are, of course, I know numbers are important, but the numbers you need is basically the average winning trades, average losing trades, and all you need is the average numbers, and you can get those numbers at the prop firm. TopStep is going to give you those numbers. Apex is going to give you that. You don't have to journal them. The only thing you have to journal is how you felt yourself during the trades. What were your feelings? What was your thought process? So, and don't be hard on yourself when you journal. You have to be very honest, because if you're not honest in your journal, then you're basically fooling your own mind. So be very honest. Yeah, and best to do the journaling on the same day. So don't do it on the next week or 2 days after. If you have some energy left, I know sometimes it's hard, especially after a hard day, but you still remember what were your thoughts, what were you thinking. So you have to do the journaling, if you can, on the same day. You have to treat it as a business. Write it down. What happened? What were you feeling? What were you thinking? Do it on the same day. I know this first episode might be a little bit confusing, but I need to do these walks myself. And right now it's almost New York session starting up, and I came out to the park. I had to take a break, and if you're on a losing streak, make sure to go out, do something that rewires your brain and helps you out in the thinking process. The key word for the whole trading is discipline. And if you're disciplined enough, then you're not going to have any problem in the future. Trust me about that. And I mean, don't underestimate trading micros. You don't have to go in with mini contracts. You can go in with micros as well. Trust me, I made payouts from funded account at TopStep where 95% of my trades were micros. And no, the 5% of minis were not the ones that made the big bucks for me. I traded with maximum 3 micros because on a 150k account at TopStep, you're able to start with 3 micros or 3 minis. So I was making it with 3 micros, and trust me, it's possible. It's $6 per point, and you can do it. So if you don't have high expectations, you can absolutely do it. You don't want to be the person who wants to make $10,000 in your first month. Yeah, it's a nice thing to have it as a goal, but you know, step by step. And by the way, if you would like to help out my channel and the streams, I have been affiliated with the TopStep and Apex too. You find my links down below. You can have a free trial at TopStep, and if you're new at TopStep, and you can have a 50% discount on your first reset. Hopefully you can make it in one shot, but you know, still you have a 50% discount there. So please use my links. Subscribe to the channel. You can see me most likely in the London session, but sometimes I trade New York as well in YouTube, and I stream for my Discord membership. So go to my links, check it out, and you know, new topics are coming in this walks and talks. Next time I'm gonna go to a different park because I don't want to catch my breath next time as well. But so far, this is all, and you know, I hope you guys liked it. The next one is gonna be maybe a little longer. So it was great seeing you. Thanks for checking out the video, and see you guys on the streams. All right, cheers.